Hello. It's another intro for another episode, and this one is going to be short because due to technical difficulties, I lost everything that I recorded before. And as I'm like opening this kind of a podcast, video cast, I like feel obliged to say that. But it still doesn't affect a great episode with the great guests we have today. A man from down under, coming all the way from Australia, now living here in Croatia. Um, we have cool guests. We have Ivan and Šime. Uh, Šime is actually from the Australia. Ivan is here from Croatia, but Šime actually, well, I guess you can guess from the name also, he is a Croatian guy who was living there, born and raised, and then he came here to Croatia. And they're doing something interesting in the fitness department. Yeah, that's gonna be cool to listen to, especially as I myself am not so much as a fitness guy, but I do like to hear. Maybe they even convince me to go to the gym here and there, or whatever they are trying to promote right now. I'm joking, they're not promoting, they're building, they're creating. Of course they're promoting, of course, but that's not the job, that's not the thing that they're doing. So listen on and watch. Well, we're recording in progress right now, and we had some kind of a technical difficulties, but we now have a party on, and we have a band that the world never seen before. We have Fox in a Box.
Ivan.
It's a rap duo. One is coming from down under, from Australia. He's kicking like I wanna say that word. It's a kangaroo, but
it's a kangaroo. Yeah.
The new album is dropping down, and we're gonna hear first time on the startup Rant. What art are you playing?
What am I playing? We are playing Fitness TV. That's what we are playing.
Oh, Fitness TV.
Oh,
That's not rap album. That's not hip hop.
That's not a rap album, but
just a second. I need to check my notes that my assistant prepared, which is a problem because I am my own assistant. Oh, so it's not hip hop band today. It's actually some guys doing fitness. Okay, so fitness guys.
That's right. Fitness TV, Fit Tech, right?
Right, and we have interesting collaboration here. You come from down under, and actually, even you also come from down under. If you're looking from my perspective, because I'm in Zagreb and everything is down under.
Yeah, really, Zadar is so far away.
Yeah.
But basically, what you don't know, I'm in Velika Gorica right now, not in Zadar.
Okay, now. Geographically, that's still a little bit down on the map from the Zagreb. So you're down under. I need to joke a little bit, guys, because we have technical difficulties here. But this is interesting because it's not something that somebody will jump into, like fitness stuff in the middle of the pandemic.
That's right.
Which one of you is going to explain to me why?
Why did I do this? Why did I do this? Well, we had a number of issues last year with existing projects that we had on the books, and because we did not succeed in progressing with those projects, we had to make a change immediately, and had to save the company. Right, we were going to go broke. There's no point putting all that hard work in for nothing. So what I did was thought really hard about where we were and remembered that the fitness industry in Australia was always good to me. And because of that, we turned back to fitness, back to people who are forward-thinking, healthy, fit, active, people who understand what that we can do for them. Yeah, that's what is important here. I had noticed I noticed in my time here in Croatia that the fitness industry is lacking in correct audio, correct video, correct entertainment. So we set out to change that, and that's what we're doing.
Ivan, and why you found yourself in fitness is because of the
Call me a technical entrepreneur. I love challenges. I like creating new things. I like technical things. I've been doing that since I was 10, 11 years old, disassembling all radios, TVs, all kind of crap. I just love technical things. I'm here for technical stuff. Even though I am the number 2 in the company, but technical is my thing, and I will make it work.
Nice, because when I look at it, in Australia where you come, Šime, there are so many things that want to chase you down, so you need to be in fit form.
Everything, yeah, everything wants to kill you over there, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like there is like spiders, and they're like kangaroos, and they're like, I don't know.
2 to 3 meter long pythons, snakes.
Yeah.
If you see the snakes here in Croatia, that's nothing, man. You can see the snakes we have in Australia; it's out of control.
Yeah, you probably call them worms there. Oh, look, this little worm.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Spiders,
okay.
redback spiders. Yeah, you got to check your shoes in the morning or your work boots before you put them on, just in case a spider has crawled in your boot. All right, it's not a pleasant surprise, believe me.
I'm a movie guy. When I was listening to some actors talking about how they were filming in Australia, and they were like, well, there's a big spider on the wall, like, but it's okay. Like, at least natives said that, and I even heard that one Peppa the Pig episode was banned in Australia because it was telling to the kids spiders are okay.
That would not surprise me at all, right?
But
spiders are not okay. Some
Yeah.
spiders are okay, yeah? Not all spiders are okay. Not all spiders are created equally, right?
Well, I presume that's why we have a Lord of the Rings filmed in New Zealand, which is close to Australia, because of that big spider. And I always thought that's actually practical effects, but maybe that was the animal that's roaming the fields of Australia and New Zealand. But let's go back to Croatia, because right now you are here in Croatia. Why?
That's correct.
With this
Why?
stuff. What are you doing
Why?
with this here?
What am I doing with this here?
What's the problem and solution that you are resolving?
Okay, so we'll touch back again that in fitness venues in Croatia, we had there's a big problem with the audio, the video, entertainment services, so on and so forth. So if I was to draw on an example, for example, we have three types of fitness. So you have fitness 1.0, fitness 2.0, and fitness 3.0. Now, fitness 1.0, this is the standard model of fitness that existed way back in the 1800s when the first gym was open in the world. Okay, so what you would do first, you probably ran around, you trained at home. This was demotivating, regardless if you were eating healthy food or not. Then you decided, I'm going to join a gym. You join the gym, you use the equipment that's in the gym, exercise. Perhaps you got a personal trainer. The personal trainer helps you exercise. You got fit. This proved results. Results were had. You maintain this and it works. I'm not saying fitness 1.0 doesn't work. Fitness 1.0 absolutely works, but this is the model that the Croatian fitness industry has been in since the very start. Fitness 2.0 happened around 2011, 2012. This is when we had an explosion of fitness applications. Now your mobile phone is telling you how to be fit. If you were fit, unfit, it didn't matter. What happened in that period of time was gym memberships declined. But after a while, the gym memberships were on the incline, only because, well, it proved ineffective. Although what happened with the tier one clubs, for example, they started to align themselves towards a digital future. The tier one clubs knew what they had to do. The tier one clubs started installing new sound, new TVs, and began to align the club towards a digital future. Now, that was fine. Up until about a few years ago, so I'm going to say about 2019, this is when Fitness 3.0 hit the scene. Fitness 3.0 was the explosion in wearable devices, smart clothing. With Fitness 3.0, all of a sudden, gym digitization became a reality. Fitness 3.0 started creating sub-industries. Wearable devices is the absolute prime example of this. So what we can do with wearable devices these days is absolutely amazing, and we'll go into that a little bit later on when we start talking about our products. Now, from Fitness 1.0 to Fitness 3.0, the Croatian fitness industry failed to bridge the gap. So the problem with that is there was no infrastructure for the fitness industry to bridge the gap here. It's not like, for example, in Australia or Singapore or America, of clubs. You have multiple chains of clubs, right? So in Croatia, we don't have multiple chains of clubs. That means everybody is out on their own. It made no sense in that period of time for the clubs to invest in new infrastructure in an attempt to get members through the door.
Yeah. Do you think that's funny, actually? Because we are a little country, like, you know, while you take the big countries and they have chains that if you have one thing and you propagate that to other members of the chain, everybody is doing on the same stuff. But in Croatia, which is a smaller country, to me, naturally, as an entrepreneur, would be like, why do I need to why don't I take a franchise? Why do I don't be a part of franchise? Why do I not start a franchise? You know, and then I have control over stuff, not just control, but actually I can provide the same experience to everybody, which is normal in the big cities, in big countries. But here, and you come here not just like somebody, oh, he's from down under, you actually have experience in this kind of stuff. Do you see that as a problem? Because we are still too much. I'm not going to fitness myself. I'm not gyms or whatnot. I tried once. It didn't stick, or I didn't stick. Doesn't mean I will not go again. But it was like, even when I was there, it was like, to me, kind of, you know, but doesn't matter. But do you think that it's kind of too much divided?
It is too much divided, to be honest with you. Everybody's out there on their own. Okay, let's for an example. Sydney is a city with 5 million people, 5 million plus people. Croatia is a country with 4.2 million people. Although I doubt the figures, I think the figures are closer to 3.8 million. 3.8 million people. Yeah, well, that's right. Croatia is one. Look at it as one city, and we're so far spread out. So you're from Zagreb, Rijeka, Zadar, Šibenik, Split, Dubrovnik, further inland, Osijek, and
Slavonski Brod.
Yeah, Slavonski Brod, and so on and so forth. Right. So let's think about this. Everything's spread out here. How we have to think about this? How do we create the infrastructure network to join all the clubs together somehow, not just through Fitness TV, but through an application where everybody is there? There's nothing to join everybody together. It's interesting. Why? Again, they missed the gap between Fitness 1.0 and Fitness 3.0. There's no bridge here. Needs to bridge the gap. Someone has to bridge the gap. I think that we are the people to do it. I don't think we are the people to do it. I know we are the people who are going to bridge the gap. As simple as that.
Yeah, and you're actually doing right that
Mhm.
at this moment. And before we even go a little bit more, I wouldn't say technical, I wouldn't say deep into your product or something like that, but what you said to me right now and to the listeners and the watchers of this beautiful show called Startup Rant, how do you explain this to the VCs? You know, it's in pandemic year, nobody's going anywhere, nobody's doing anything. People, if they are doing something, they're doing in their bedrooms, trying to lift some weights or something like that, or something in their bedrooms. So how do we stand on that front to explain this to the VCs, that the gyms, that the fitness, that the health component of our lives is the part of our lives?
Correct. So the big issue there is the members have lost the engagement back with the fitness facility that they are a member of. So the lack of member engagement causes major problems. You start getting unhealthy. So you've lost contact with your personal trainer. While I admit that particular clubs have tried to engage members by offering alternate services through video, yoga classes through video, so on and so forth. But again, you've lost engagement with the club completely. So what we have to do here is create, again, the infrastructure network that the members can use to engage back with the club. In the application that we will talk about a little bit further down the track today, there is a number of services available so that the member continues to be engaged with the club that they are a part of, regardless if it's a corona outbreak or the club is shut down. Member engagement is key. Member engagement means you retain membership. Yeah, it's as simple as that. That means the club, in some way or form, will continue to stay profitable.
Okay, so I'm VC. I heard your pitch, and now I need to go a little bit technical and say, how does this work?
How does this work?
Shime, who is the responsible for the technical part?
Who's the responsible person?
To do this?
Ivan, are you the responsible person?
Yeah, I'll just say.
No. Are you a responsible person, not the responsible tech?
I'm responsible, yeah. And he is responsible too. But I'll say fewer words. I'll say few words, then he'll fill up. The gap that you're talking about will be filled with a simple thing like a phone app. But it won't be just a regular phone app. There's a million phone apps for fitness, all that, and this and that. But our platform that we're creating will envelop all sorts of things into one app, which means health monitoring, sales, monitoring what is your team. Team. If you're a trainer, you have 12 guys under you that you give them like, do this practice, do that practice. You monitor, did they do that or not? And there's a lot of more technical stuff that I won't go into. But the gap that you're talking about and why Corona and does Corona represent a problem will be close with that.
And that's interesting because, right now the countries are opening to, let's go to the seaside, let's go to this country, let's go here, let's go that. But on the little level, or the little level, people are actually feeling that they can breathe, go to the park, go to the gym. And in that gym, they will have experience with your product that they didn't have before, which can actually expand what they did before and usher them in the new era. So even, is this some kind of a technology, not just technology, but the group of technical stuff that they can actually bring those people together and stay in a kind of a flux, because they need to change with the time, because the time is changing. We don't know, will they tomorrow we need to close down the borders or close down the clubs and gyms or whatnot, but they have this technology that can keep up with the this kind of times?
Absolutely. Today, everyone has some kind of smart device, smart watch, health monitoring thing, something, yeah, and it will be connected with our app, and we can do like reward campaigns or something like that. If the gyms are on a lockdown, they can do their practices from home. They can compete with each other. We can create some kind of competition. Whoever wins, I don't know, some kind of prize. Then if the gyms are open, there's no corona thing anymore. The gyms can compete with each other. Let's say treadmill running 30 minutes. Who's the longest? Who's the fastest? Blah, blah,
Who's the
blah.
bolt? Who's the bolt today?
Yeah, there's all kinds of little technical details that can be incorporated in that app. But the point is not to have like 10 apps, just to have one app with all those things inside.
I like this gamification of it because, you know, I'm always like, I would never run something like that. I need to go all in, but I can like walk all day. Or something like that, you know.
Yeah, gamification is vitally important. When you start turning things into a game, people start to respond to that. Yeah, it's an interesting psycho. What do they call that? A psycho analysis of the matter. It's not
Yeah,
that.
well, you know,
It's something else.
for me,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt you, but it's kind of transcends the like, you know, transcends the idea. I'm just going to the gym, you know. If something's happening like Corona or something like that, I'm actually involved a little bit more into it because, listen, guys, like I said, I'm not into gyms or something like that, but you know, if I can like walk on the treadmill right now, or I can walk for 5 hours, I would walk in 5 hours in the woods. But if I need to exercise and I'm locked down something or something like that, or I can go to the gym and walk a little bit and get kind of a reward, even small one like thumbs up. That's something that I think that will push more people into this kind of a mindset, especially in the communities that are not so eager to go to the gyms or something like that.
Mindset was the word I was looking for previously. So I'll give you an example of gamification through the fitness applications. So the Fitness TV app, for example, everybody has a wearable device. So you would, when you turn up to your fitness venue, you will log in through your wearable device. Let's say we have a group exercise. So let's just base it on one gym for now, and then we'll extend further. One gym, we have a group exercise class. Everybody logs in. Say there's 6 to 10 people in this class. We have a screen up there in the gym where this group exercise is happening. When everybody logs in, now your wearable device is tracking you. It's tracking your heart rate. It's tracking it's tracking how you're responding to the exercises themselves. So if we have 6 to 10 people that are competing against each other and trying to win something at the end of it, then that is gamification. People respond to that. It's a mindset. Now, let's try this, for example, at 6 o'clock this evening, we have 10 gyms that are competing against each other. At the end, let's call it a 10-week program, 10 gyms, 10-week program. At the end of the 10-week program, we have some sort of a prize for the winning gym. Again, we have a class of 6 to 10 people which are competing for a prize to see if they are better than the other gym through the fitness app, through the wearable device that you are wearing on your hand, or your smart clothing. We haven't gone into smart clothing yet. Smart clothing is another whole sub-industry. It's another whole new beast. But what we
Listen, so I mentioned that gamification or something like that before we had this kind of a cutoff. I'm sorry about that. We have probably had some kind of a fluctuation in the electricity here, which happens in Croatia. Not that much, but it happens. So you're a digital nomad. We're going to talk about that later on. Keep that in
Correct.
mind. But
Yeah.
right now, I did mention with Ivan, we talked about some kind of, we can do kind of a gamification. You mentioned that we load back, blah, 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 in the kind of environment that, there is no pandemic, but there is pandemic. It's a fluctuation actually. So Šime, you have this idea. This is your brainchild. A little bit more about that.
A little bit more about that. So the original product itself, when I locked myself in the house over the Christmas period between 2020 and 2021, I had to come up with the business case. The original idea was we would approach fitness clubs. We will offer them new TVs, new audio, and supply them with an entertainment channel. Pretty simple, 3 things. That's all that was required. We refined this product over the next 2 to 3 weeks, where at the end of January 2021, we were ready to go live with this. So as soon as we approached our first gym partners, they were very happy. They immediately invited us for a consultation to their gyms. Over the course of time, we started to realize that, wait, this is getting very popular very quickly. We had 100% strike rate with every gym that we visited. Everybody was into it. Nobody had the money to spend on new TVs, new audio, and the network infrastructure that is required for this to happen. Fine, I thought. Okay. Everybody thought, is this guy serious? Why are we getting free TVs, free audio? Sure, come. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Bring
Everybody
that
thought
to
I was
me.
crazy. Yeah, bring it to me, give it to me. Of course, nothing is free. We will play non-intrusive advertisements that correspond with the fitness, health, and lifestyle industries. Not like we're going to have an ad for a toilet, like for example, that you would see on regular TV every day. It's a none of that. It's all fitness and lifestyle related, and it's relevant content that is non-intrusive. Like for example, YouTube, very intrusive ads, very, very intrusive, very annoying. Yeah. Very annoying, and that's not going to work in this environment. You cannot cut the way a person is training with an intrusive ad that makes absolutely no sense to what they are doing in the gym. Everybody was pretty happy, I thought. Then over the course of time, after speaking more and more to these gym operators, we realized that, wait, there is so much more potential for this apart from what the original product is. So I started to realize that we need to do something quickly about this. It started to get out of control. All that's happened is we were traveling around to the clubs, collecting more and more TV locations where we all of a sudden had 250 TVs and enough speakers for a rock concert. Come on, man, this is how are we going to pay for this? Okay.
Oh, AC/DC is coming into town, and you need to collect all those speakers to play some songs.
Yeah, correct, correct.
To keep the Down Under team.
You have to keep it rolling, right? You got to keep it rolling. The kangaroo's got to keep jumping here, doesn't he? Right?
Oh yeah, especially to do good beat.
That's right. That's right. Oh, well, we have to provide the entertainment service as well. So we have to provide a music channel. All these things cost money, and they cost a lot of money. I'm not going to go into the prices right now, but believe me, my head hurts about it. So what are we going to do? We go to the bank. Let's talk to my loyal bank. Okay. The loyal bank, not so loyal. Let's call it that way.
It's a bank in Croatia.
It's a bank. A banking is a bank. Now the banks have a serious vulture practices here in Croatia. I call them vultures. I believe that the banks are full of uhebi and people who are in positions that they're absolutely useless in that position. They're in authority positions that they should not be in. The banks have business practices that do not align with progressing the business on the ground. What is more embarrassing is last month, the banks received a substantial amount of money from the European Union to help business. In place of helping business, they have lifted the criteria to obtain those funds. Welcome to Croatia, right? That's not fair, right? Definitely not fair.
Well,
So,
sometimes the banking, I think it's a kind of language difference because, in English language, bank, you can provide banking to the people. And in Croatia, it's bank without ing,
bank.
perhaps.
Yeah, correct. Give me an Australian bank any day of the week. I absolutely assure you, had I gone to see my previous business manager at my previous bank in Australia, and I came with the information that I have and the business plan and the business case and 20 fitness partners who are ready to take us on, the bank would have pre-approved me in 15 minutes and they would have been asking me, do I need more money? It's pretty simple.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's get this straight before I apply to the Australian visa and Sydney bank account. Or I actually was always more found a little bit more. Is it cool to say north of Australia? They have a beautiful vineyards there that actually hail from Croatia because.
That's going to be South Australia, you mean? Yeah. South Australia and Victoria, but the majority of
I'm gonna turn myself like
Yeah. South Australia. There's a lot of vineyards from there's Croatians that left Croatia in the 1800s that went to South Australia, established vineyards. So the bottom half of Australia, the band of soil that extends from let's call it from left to right or right to left, whichever you want. That band of soil is ideal for grape growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Of course, if you go to New Zealand, we can always dig for the rubber, which Croatians also did. I like to connect Croatians with all kind of countries in the world, especially when you come from down under, because kangaroo, it's like Croatian too.
Like there's a Croatian, so Hrvatski Dom, a Croatian club. It's in the middle of nowhere now. I can't remember where it is. We'll have to look that up for the next time that we have a startup rant. Now, he's the one lone Croatian in the middle of nowhere, and he has set up in his local pub the Hrvatski Dom, right? And he's got obviously the shrines to Croatia over there and whatnot. And he's surrounded by Aussies and Aboriginals and all these other people that are around him. But that's a Hrvatski Dom in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of Australia, in a pub. Try that on, right?
Well, when you look at it, could you kind of imagine this kind of stuff as a lonely in the middle of something? I'm literally trying to cut my speak right now because I want to think, and you want to think, and maybe everybody want to think who is watching and listening to this. If you're in the middle of nowhere in Australia, sometimes somebody can feel in the middle of nowhere in the middle of Croatia, working with the banks, VCs, and stuff like that. Can you tell me? You talked about banks right now, but how about VCs? You have to have money for this startup of yours, of this business of yours, which you said you have problem with, local, not a problem, let's say setback, extended period of explaining something. Do you think the Croatian startups, are there even Croatian startups in your opinion that can actually follow up on what you're doing right now?
Follow up with what we're doing. Okay, so let me first be very clear. We were bootstrapped from the very start. So I formed Audiovisual Group, the company that is behind Fitness TV, back in 2015. I would not necessarily consider us a startup, although we've had to revert back to startup to fit in, let's call it, right? Ivan and I are highly experienced individuals. I've spent 20 years in this industry. Ivan, correct me if I'm wrong, it's about 15 to 18 years for Ivan. I would not consider us a startup, although I believe that there should be some sort of terminology to define the levels of startup, right? Which is fine. Let's move
Yeah,
on from there. Okay.
that's why we have Startup Rant right now, because we are trying to determine what's a startup. Because for me,
Correct.
I actually changed the definition 5 times in the last 3 years. What's a startup? You know, is it the money? Is it the VC investing in you? Is it a bootstrapping? Is it something like that? Because we have this kind of wrapped or actually kind of
Cash all.
complex.
Yeah.
We already like look at the United States of America, and we have startups there. But PayPal is not for America. Shazam is not for America. Talking Tom, that's out with 7, is from Slovenia, which is like a few hours drive from here. So the even WhatsApp is not, it is from America, but the guys who created that are from Ukraine. So, you know, when you talk about startups, you always like have this kind of everything comes from USA. But actually, when you go a little bit deeper, like with Infobip, like with the Remats, like with all these kind of interesting companies, even like yourself, do they come from America? So are you a startup or not? It's kind of a definition that can be fluid and changed. But you are in the really tough position right now, my friend, my friends, because even you're a technical guy. Wouldn't you like to work for Google, not just creating stuff for the some kind of a gyms?
Absolutely not. I wouldn't give up this life for anything, you know, like I thoroughly enjoy what we do. It's funny to say, oh, I have the freedom to do whatever I want. That's somewhat true, but it's incorrect. I don't have the freedom to do whatever I want. What we do, we have to make money from so that we can survive. To return back to where we were before when we were talking about other startups, to follow our path now. In Croatia, there is not many VC funds available. There is probably 2 to 3 main VC funds who you may or may not have some success with. They may indicate that they are highly interested in you, but at the very last second, they drop you just like a football, right? Boom, gone. See ya. They're disappointments. Being in a startup, you have to accept, not just in a startup, in business itself, you fail every single day. Failure is a thing that you have to embrace. So is disappointment. Disappointment is another thing you have to embrace. So whilst some of these VC funds may be so hot on you, they've got you know, everything is pointing in the right direction, then all of a sudden, boom, sorry, we're not interested. And what is worse, some of these VC funds will absolutely not supply you with any feedback at all. You want to know, where did we go wrong, so we don't go wrong again with the next VC fund. But the general consensus is, sorry, we don't have to provide you any feedback, which is also another disappointment. You think, oh my God, what did I do? Where did we go wrong here? Nothing makes sense to me anymore. Then you're doubting yourself in your head, but then you have to return back to your thoughts. Wait a second, embrace the disappointment, embrace the failure. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Yeah.
Okay. So Šime, right now I'm gonna vocalize something that my viewers and listeners are thinking in their head. Did you try to find investors from down under or from the left or right of this country called Croatia?
I did try to find investors from down under. I was thoroughly disappointed with the down under, and I would prefer not to discuss it anymore. It's a thoroughly disappointed is what I would call it. Yeah, thoroughly disappointed. But that's okay. That's another disappointment that I have embraced and moved on from. Feedback was that we're so far away that they probably don't understand or know what we are doing with the money over here. And again, they view Croatia as some sort of cowboy country, which it's not really. Okay. And again, they're obviously worried about their money, which is fine. I understand that. There's problems there. Okay, no problem. let's move forward from here. I had found that the American VC market is very liquid, and they are more willing to talk to startups and understand the product that they are presenting.
Nice, nice. Is it hard to get money from the outside? Like, you're in Croatia, we don't have the legal stuff like they have in the United States of America. Like, I have a startup, so whenever I have to talk with the investors, I have my headache 10 times what I usually have, and I have a headache almost every day. I need to check out that probably. But I want to say that, trying to give them shares or something like that of the company, have to invest in the company, it's not so easy. So especially you mentioned those TVs, kind of stuff. Is it harder to sell that kind of hardware
Absolutely,
software,
absolutely, absolutely. Example: Croatian and European VC funds are highly allergic on hardware-based projects. It's trying to sell the hardware-based project in Croatia to a Croatian VC fund is like you're basically instantly rejected. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
The problem is you need the hardware to establish the software behind the hardware, so that we operate on a lean model. So we are constantly innovating, but we need the hardware in place and the infrastructure in place so that we can establish the software component of what is required. When I got over all my disappointment with potential investors and found the correct investment partner in the States, they were, I have permission to say who they are, which is fantastic. So we're with a company called Fitness Ventures. That's headed by Jonathan Miller. Jonathan Miller is highly successful in the fitness industry. Brands like Peloton, Fitbit, IPOs that have been processed, Google takeovers. This is the guy, right? This is the guy. So when I made contact with Jonathan, I remember I was sitting outside here on the terrace. I was going through Jonathan's website. What I liked the most about Jonathan's website was there's a box that says "talk to me," and I'm like, yeah, man, talk to you, no problem at all. I wrote him one sentence. Yeah, I was so sick to death of writing thousands and thousands and thousands of words and answering ridiculous questions of VC funds in Croatia and Europe. I thought, you know what? One sentence. I'm not even going to attach any information about the product. What? I asked him, this call is to discuss the product that I have. You can tell me if you like it or not, and that's it. Lo and behold, 2 days later, I get an email half an hour before our call. Are you ready to go? I'm ready to go. All right. We talked. I explained to him where I was from, what I did, who I've worked for. He immediately knew the people that I work for, which is interesting because obviously he's involved in that world. I knew instantly that I was talking to the correct person. Being understood is a underrated pleasure, right? That's an absolute. That's a pleasure that I'm not accustomed to, or have not been accustomed to from my time here in Croatia. So it was highly refreshing talking to Jonathan because he knew exactly what I was talking about. I thought, fantastic, I have the right person here now. What I expected the last 10 to 15 minutes went for over 45 minutes. So Jonathan and I had fantastic rapport, and we established that this has legs. Absolutely, it has legs. I knew the whole time this has legs. Jonathan asked for additional information post phone call, or post Skype call, I should say. We provided the additional information that Jonathan required. Within 10 working days, we had a contract in front of us. I signed the contract, and now we're in the fitness syndicate. Real simple.
Beautiful.
How simple was that? Why didn't the bank listen to me? Why? I know why the bank didn't listen to me, because it's not the practice of the bank to listen to me. But finding the right VC fund to suit your startup is highly imperative to your success here.
Yeah, it is. And when you think about it, there's kind of a, people always, when they hear word startup, they think like it's a kind of software stuff. It's going to be, I don't know, WhatsApp, Facebook, Google, I don't know. But there actually are legal tech, green tech, game tech, this tech, that tech, and everybody's doing some kind of a tech, even from the sex tech and the fem tech. There are kind of stuff that people do not understand, especially here in Croatia. They're like, but that's changing because even in Startup Rant, we have all these kind of various guests that are talking about what they are trying to achieve, what they're trying to do. And you are in the fitness tech. But like you mentioned, there's a 1.0, there's 2.0, there's 3.0, and there will be whatnot. Are there kind of companies in Croatia that you identified right now as somebody that you could work with to achieve more, or there are companies in the world that you think that you could work more, like, I don't know, Garmin, because they are providing all those smartwatches that you're running in the woods and you can find yourself in the middle of nowhere and still know where you are. Is that something that, like, if I just do this on my smartwatch and this kind of going to register as something that I did as an exercise for my gym instructor, or something more?
An interesting individual which you have already interviewed on Startup Rant is Kutija, which I believe. He has an interesting product. So the product that she has basically has all the same elements that a $500 smartwatch is going to cost you, right? Except it's much cheaper. Well, what do we need here? We need heart rate. We need to be able to monitor the particular aspects of what's happening around the wrist here. There's obviously a number of nerve endings, veins, and so on and so forth. While Diana is focused on the older generation and looking after them, that actual device itself can transfer over into fitness. To be honest with you, I have not seen anyone in the Croatian market who is. I haven't come across anyone. I'm a bit baffled about that.
But you are open when somebody sees these episodes, hears about these episodes, to get in touch with you,
absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely open. So we are totally interested in fitness tech. So if there is companies out there, startups or individuals who have some sort of minimal viable product, then we are absolutely interested in talking to those people, because perhaps we can transfer that product into something that we are doing. For example, your X-ray app, fantastic. We can, I've had multiple thoughts about how can we combine the X-ray app into our fitness app, or a component of your app into our app, so that it would work for the gym member. There's ways around it. There's things that your app can do that will transfer across.
Yeah. And you already have foot in the door with somebody who is in the United States of America, who is like working with the fitness, like you said, Jonathan. So somebody who maybe doesn't have direct connections with you as a product, maybe has some kind of a benefit talking with you in the expanding their world of networking.
Correct. So that's important as well. Being able to articulate your product correctly is important too. So you can't just call up Jonathan and say, "Hey man, I've got all this stuff, and this is what I do." It's not the case. Due diligence needs to happen, right? So due diligence is the last 10 years of my life in the fitness industry. It's not just fitness that we do, but I've spent a large portion of my life in the gym. I understand that world. I know what the member needs. I know what the member wants. So aligning yourself with the member and wanting to make a change for the better. So not all about the money. It's about making a change. You know, money is it's an added benefit. Money you need to make the product work. Uh, Money is the thing, but it's not about that. It's about making a change and changing the fitness industry for the better. We are stuck in fitness 1.0. We need to get out of this loop. This loop is a constant loop. All you're doing is doing a circle around and around and around, and you're not going anywhere. That is not that's not engaging the member. That's not making a change. That's doing nothing. Yeah?
Okay. So in that regard, when we think about something changing for something and upgrading to something, let's go a little bit more technical. How do you see, or maybe even can answer this, how do you see from technical standpoint the technology that you right now have and that you're going to implement is, because it's a little bit more difficult to talk about software technology versus hardware technology. Software you can upgrade, update whenever you want, but if you're providing as a hardware stuff to the actual gym, you're like having TVs or whatnot, stuff like that. From technical standpoint, even let's say that you can answer this, is a little bit more challenging, or is it?
Basically, it's not, because we are thinking like 2-3 steps ahead. We are not. I won't go into technical details. We are not using. We are not using old tech. We are we are using current and new tech. Regarding the smart devices that we would give to people in gyms, we have an idea with the RFID chip being installed already, and the RFID function for accessing your gym or your locker in your gym or all those things will be implemented later on. So we are thinking 1, 2, 3, or 4 steps ahead. We are not working with something. Let's get the cheapest thing and let's move on. Let's move on with it.
Okay, that's fine. 5G and everything is right now raging on onto the world, but you just now mentioned the RFID chips and something like that. Do you have a problem? I need to mention this because we are still in the pandemic year, right? Is there kind of a problem with supply and demand right now that is affecting the hardware part of your business?
Of course it is. Of course it is. All complete industry is struck by COVID. Not just technical things. I mean, in technical terms, there's a big shortage of chipsets. China and all those factories over there are completely like devastated for a moment.
Depleted. Nothing is there.
Yeah, exactly. And if something is produced in China, you have to get I don't know, cobalt or something, raw materials from Africa. And if you don't get that from Africa, you can't make this product or that product. And the world demand is big and bigger because now during the lockdowns, people were at home. I don't know, just upgrading their TVs, their computers, their this and that, all technical things, spending money on, I don't know, pretty much technical things because they were locked up and they were looking how to entertain themselves. So now we have a little problem, which will correct itself one way or another. I'm not worried about it. It can only create a little delay with our plans.
Okay, but you already have accounted that for, right?
Yes.
You have planned. Beautiful.
So Corona is present for how? 1.5 years? Something like that, yeah? After, let's say after 2000, was it 2011 earthquake in Japan?
With the Fukushima plant.
Yeah, there was 1 or 2 plants that were struck by the earthquake that were producing parts for hard disks, hard drives.
Yeah, but what's funny because people always look at that kind of events, but they don't remember the volcano eruption in the Europe, Iceland, and then the planes didn't fly. So we had the components, but they still didn't get to the people because the plane didn't fly. So they have to revert to the kind of shipping. And then we have problem this year, right, with the little ship stuck in the Suez Canal. So there's always a problem, and in your world you need to with the hardware you need to look ahead, right?
Exactly. Hardware, I mean, not hardware, but technology is something that is constantly evolving. So there's no like, I ain't gonna read about it. I know everything. You don't know nothing. One thing, one thing today is another thing tomorrow. You need to be constantly updated about everything, about new technologies, about upcoming technologies. Think about the advantages of it. Can you implement that into your product? Can you work with that? Is that expensive on a high scale level? Is that well, there's variables like there's a lot of variables when you talk about technology, because it's, I mean, after let's say 1990, let's say 2000, after 2000 there's a rapid explosion of technology, starting from cell phones to mobile phones to LCD screens, and so you can see constant growth of I don't know, everyone's making CPU. I mean, CPU for mobile phones or computers. They're making it smaller, 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 managing to put more transistors into same area, increasing the core size and all that, this and that. So every couple of months, let's say 3 or 4 months, there's a big leap in some kind of technology. You have, for example, in 2003, 4, 2001, let's say, you had a normal LCD TV which costs like its price was like high as hell. But today that TV ain't worth shit. Ain't worth.
And don't you remember those 3D TVs?
Exactly.
With the plasma screens and whatnot, and the little beautiful 3D glasses that you had to wear to watch them, and they are
exactly. But
that right now. So you actually, in the hardware business, you have technologies that can become obsolete like this because nobody's using it.
Yeah.
But there can be high demand in what you are doing right now. That can be.
In technology, you should, I mean, if you're working with hardware and technology, you should orient yourself and look towards what's going to develop more, what's not going to fall over the wall and disappear.
Yeah.
That's how I look at things.
Yeah, and that's beautiful about you guys, because not just looking towards, you're actually looking inwards, and inwards is health, and you're in the health business in a way because you're promoting the health stuff. You people are actually going to the gyms and actually going to do something that's going to benefit their health.
One more thing I'd like to add is
Please do.
We don't do just fitness TV. We do all kinds of smart home systems in innovative way, not in a regular way, innovative way. We will do big LCD screens on our office in Zadar. We're going to do, I think, 11 meters by 3.5 meter big screen. On another location in Zadar, we're going to put another big screen, LED screen, which we're going to use for advertisement. And absolutely, we do all kinds of AV installations, TVs, sound systems, concerts. There's a lot of things to talk about.
But luckily, we can talk about that next time as well. But for the end right now, if you don't have anything else to expand on this beautiful stuff that you all day, do we have a conclusion of you guys about startup scene, about your product, like kind of final thoughts of entrepreneurship. Do people need to go in that way, or they're just, if they have idea, if they have a product, should they even try with that? Because we talked about banking and we talked about VCing, we talked about trying.
First, be prepared to bootstrap. If you are not already bootstrapped, be prepared to bootstrap because it's going to cost you a lot of money. It's not cheap being a startup. Everybody thinks that, yeah, I've got this idea and I'm just going to get some money for it and that's that. That's not the case, man, right? It's you have to be prepared to continue to finance your idea until the seed money arrives in your account. Now, I suggest that, look, I'm a bit of a different person. Like I'm a go-getter, let's call it that, right? I'm prepared to do that. I'm prepared to put my money where my mouth is and support the products that I believe will work. First of all, you have to ask yourself, are you crazy? Are you a madman? Are you a mad woman? If you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, yes, I am, then do it. Do it, dude. It's a big leap. Now, it's a little bit different for me. I've been living this way for probably the last 20 years or so. You know, I've never actually had a job, a job where I am employed by somebody. I've always worked for myself, so it's a little bit different for me. I naturally migrate towards that direction. But what I say is do it. It gives you an unbelievable perspective on life. Yeah.
Cool. And Ivan, how about you?
If you have an idea and you don't take the run for it, someone else will.
Right.
And that's my final thought.
And that's a beautiful thought, because when you look at it, you know, in the end of the day, you know, when you're lying in the bed, you will like think, oh, why I didn't do that. But at the end of the life, you will think about like, why didn't I do that? And at the end of life, I think we all will think like, maybe if I failed, I would be sorry. But actual sorry would be right now.
Miroslav.
Yeah.
I'll give you a little example of why didn't I do it, because I could have done it. I moved to Velika Gorica 2.5 years ago, something like that. What we have in Zadar and what we don't have here is people.
Bura.
No. People doing lamb and pork on spit. And you can come and buy like, I want 2 kilos, 3 kilos, doesn't matter. And I was joking about it with my wife and all of her friends, like, we should open a store. You don't have that here. Because down there in Zadar, in Biograd, in whole Dalmatia, that thing works. People make money out of it. And I was joking about it, and I forgot about it. 1 month ago on Facebook, I found an ad, Odoyak to go. I opened that ad, and there's a store in Zagreb that does exactly what I was talking about, and they are fucking killing the business. They're completely like making it from 7 in the morning till the 10 in the night.
Okay, you need to go with the lamps, but I need that link also. I'm not so much on the Facebook, but I will need that link, because, you know, I'm from Slavonia, and, you know, I need rakia to go to somebody event because I'm too lazy to do it by myself. So combining that with Odoyak to go and lamp to go, and maybe wine to go, and we creations are crazy people here, I guess.
Yeah, but it just goes to the, if you don't do it, someone else will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So dips on rakia to go. I'm if somebody I need to.
You're already done there. You can buy a rakia to go in a cigar shops and little packages. Your idea is already done.
Okay. I don't know. Should I be now sad or I should be happy and to try to get those for the evening?
Go and try.
Yeah, please send that link. So I'm gonna combine those two. Okay, so this was a cool talk, and I hope we talk again. And I hope that nothing affects in the global pandemic stuff, because you are on the ground right now, guys. You're on the ground, and it's not a software base. It's not. There is a software, of course, but you actually are working with the clubs and everything like that. Just to ask this, did you ever think to, I'm a movie buff. Now, you probably know that if you ever listen to my episodes, I talk about movies, but people don't know that there actually are private cinemas. There are companies that go to your house because you're living in LA and you have a shitload of money, and you have the private cinema installed in your house. How about private gyms with your stuff in it? Just a thought right now.
Not an issue to accomplish. Technically, I don't see a problem doing that.
Just mentioning this.
High equipment costs. Yeah. Technically it works. Yeah.
Okay, there are a lot of crazy rich creations who can maybe afford that. So, or not just creations. The whole world is listening and watching this because this is Startup Rant. And interesting. Okay, so you can do that as well. Okay, so you said your final thoughts. I said my final thoughts. I hope we have another episode soon to see where you are faring to.
I do too. I think in our next episode, what we might do is we might walk you through one of our fitness partners in Zagreb, so you can physically see for yourself what fitness TV is. Yeah.
Do I need to exercise there?
You don't need to exercise, but we might see if you would like to exercise, right?
You just lost me because I was trying to someone to force me to exercise, and you said I don't need to. It's like
you don't need to, but you probably should.
I need somebody to tell me do it, Miroslav. I need somebody to say do it, Miroslav. Go to that bench or something like that. Do that.
You need a personal trainer, is what you need.
That's what I need. Beautiful. Beautiful said. That's what I need, and you're providing that.
I can put you in contact with the correct person. Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk again. Thank you for
talk again next time.
Guest here. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.